Hello, YouTube. First, I'd like to start with apologizing for not getting out this video quicker. I made some pretty big updates on Monday, and there's been some confusion on how to interact with the updates properly. So I figured I would try to make a quick tutorial video to add some clarity to the changes. In addition, this is my first tutorial video, so please show me some grace. It may be, a bit unorganized or not absolutely the best, but I'll do my best, and I'm sure they will improve over time. Okay, so here's the first shot at this. Okay, so first let's discuss the changes related to the item description. Okay, so for example, if you go to your publish screen, previously to Monday, this box did not exist here in your listing configurations, this condition description box. So previously to Monday, what was being put in the field for all the items, if you recall, was something like this: refer to photos and description for condition details. Okay, so if you want the software to continue to put this, or if you want it to continue to put some sort of static, non-changing message every single time, you would go to your settings page, and here I've already created a couple ones, but you would just go here and you would create a policy. So you can have several policies here, but just to make it cleaner, I'm just going to delete these. But you would give it a policy name or your condition. You can call it whatever you want. You could say you wanted to say you were going to use this exactly like we had it before. You could put that here. If you wanted it to be obvious which one you were selecting, you could even name it that if you wanted to. So yeah, let's say you did that. So here's your custom item condition that you just created. You would hit save. Here you can see it here. If you go back to your publish screen, you will need to refresh the screen. And then here you can see this option. Now, any item that you publish to eBay with this drop down selected, when you click publish, it will result in this happening like before. If you want it like before, that's what you would do. Okay, so we figured that out. Alrighty, now let's say you wanted to make your own custom description, that's different. You would put your different stuff here, hit save. Then on your publish screen, you need to refresh. And then here's your custom description, different. Click publish, and upon publishing, we'll just go ahead and publish this one. Upon publishing, you will discover that the new custom description has been used. Okay, so here's our item. And remember how we typed, put your different stuff here. So that now is resulting here in your custom item condition description. Okay, and then if instead, so this is another new change. Now you also have the option of putting there the AI generated condition description. Okay, so for example, how you know what the AI generated condition description is by clicking edit, going to your listing. Here, this is what was generated by the AI. You can also make edits here if desired to change this, and maybe for clarity, I need to change the titles here to say AI generated condition description or AI generated title, etc. But here, this is showing you the confirmation of, this is whatever's been generated by the AI is going to be in this box, and you could also make changes to it here if you wanted. Just remember to click save. Okay. So now to show you what that would look like. So confirm, you see we have AI generated selected now. And if you click publish, the end result is going to be that the AI generated condition is now going to go into your condition description field. This doesn't affect anything, but I'm gonna pull this up so we can look at this at the same time. Okay, so as you recall, I'm gonna click here so we can see the whole thing. As you can recall, this was the generated description, and then, you can edit any part of that. To be clear, you could have changed any of this. I'm just giving that as an example. But as you can see, what was here is now here. So that's how you would do that. That's how you would use the AI generated description. Okay. All right. And that's been published. So as you saw, it fell off the page. Okay. So that pretty much covers the update related to the condition description. Okay. Now let's cover the listing templates. Okay. That's kind of related, but also separate. Okay. So this, I think people that were previously using templates in the application figured this out more quickly than people who hadn't been using templates. But either way, let's add some clarity to these changes. Okay, so let me just make a new template. Okay, so to make a new template, you would just here on create new template, hit manage template. So here's your new template. Here's your new templates. Let's say, okay, let's call this make template like before. Okay, so previously to Monday's changes. Okay, so first let me say what these templates are for. So the template is to allow you to, on your publish screen, customize what your description will be when it's sent to eBay. So here's like your item description on eBay. Whatever is sent here to your item description on eBay, you can customize that using these templates. Okay, these templates, to be clear, there might be some confusion with this. These aren't related to any templates you might have on your eBay account. We're not pulling any templates from your eBay account. You can just create, we just have our own template implementation here. And you can create your template here on BetterLister / in the process of transitioning to Spadeberry. But you create your template here, and it just allows you to customize what ends up in your description here. Okay, so previously to Monday, well, first let me just tell you what these are. So here are these template components I've added. So these allow you to put in these little components in your template here, which will result in the information that was generated for the given item, for the data associated with that item to be put here in your description. So, for example, previously to Monday's changes, when no one had the ability to customize what was going into the description, this is what everyone was getting. So, you could have been using the template to override this and just had, static non-changing text. And some people were doing that using the templates. But you couldn't have had the static non-changing text in as well as this. Okay, so yeah, like I said, previously to Monday, you guys were all doing this. Okay, so what does this mean? This, if you put this here, this is going to bring in the title of the listing. This is going to bring in the condition description of the listing. This is going to bring in the AI generated description of the listing. So for example, if you want it exactly like it was previously to Monday, you don't need to understand anything further. You could just create a template just like this, hit save, and use that template. And on your publish screen, make template like before. I think that's what we called it. And you would just hit publish, and then it would do it exactly like it was before. Okay. But if you wanted it to be different, so for example, if you wanted to put extra stuff here, important. Thanks for shopping. If you wanted to put extra stuff here, then you could do that. Maybe just to make it cleaner on the publish page, I'm going to delete some of these. Should have done this previously. Okay. Okay, so here, yeah, so here's our template. We put the extra stuff there. And to be clear, you could put this stuff anywhere. So, you know, if you wanted it like this, for example, you could put lines, you could do whatever you want. Well, I'm just going to do this. I'll do this maybe to make it more, not because this would be ideal, but just to make it more clear about what's happening when we do a test publish here. Okay, so here you can see this is the information that we just saved into the template. Here, if I refresh the publish screen, we can see, you know, here's our make template like it was before. Okay, so here, if I select an item, hit publish, we can see what's going to happen. And, you know, as you're figuring out these changes, you know, I would advise you to, you know, you don't have to submit all 50 of your listings at once, you know, while you feel uncertain about it. You could just, you know, do one item at a time until you fully understand what's happening. Okay, so here we grabbed this jacket, we sent it with this template we created, and just going to open this page to show you guys. At this point, you wouldn't want to make changes to this page since it's already in the process of publishing. But to be clear, you know, so we created this template, right? The title. So this, whatever's in this box for title, that's what's going to be put there. The condition description, whatever's in this box here, it's going to be put there. You could also have made changes here to this condition description on, you know, like whatever you change here in this field, if you click save, then it would have, you know, resulted in the data changing when it's published. And then this is the AI generated description. And I did put in additional efforts into trying to get the AI to not put measurements in the description, but I know that was a common concern amongst many users that, you know, the AI currently isn't the greatest at always determining the correct measurements from the photos. So a common you know, desire, I think, amongst people would be able to create, you know, to publish the listings without this AI generated description to make sure that there aren't any measurements being published that are incorrect. Okay, so here if we go to our scheduled, so we just sent this item. So just to confirm, okay, yeah, so we already covered this. You know, we sent this with the AI generated one. Okay, so here's the description that was sent. Okay, so, you know, added these lines just for clarity. You probably wouldn't want to do that. I don't know, it's up to you. But so here, you know, as you saw, remember we used the title, and then we put some lines. This is the title. And then we put the condition description. That's what we see here. And then you see we actually put an extra space there. That's what was there, and then some lines. And then we said put extra stuff here, important, thanks for shopping. Put extra stuff here, important, thanks for shopping. And then here was the AI generated description. Okay, and that's here. Okay, so does that maybe add some clarity on what's happening? Okay, perfect. And so like, for example, another thing I'll point out is, so if you're on your published screen and you don't make a template, then your only default option is going to be to use the AI generated description from before. I say before, but it's different. Okay, so using the AI generated description, it's going to only use this part. So they're going to only use this. So, if you only use the AI generated description, then whatever's in this description box here is the only thing that's going to be sent to eBay when you publish. So yeah, if you want more than this, then you need to make a template. Sorry for clicking around so much there. So yeah, so just to be clear, this is going to be your only default option until you make a template. And if you publish using this, it's not going to have the title. It's not going to have the condition description. It's only going to have the AI generated description, which might be confusing, but it's different than before. It's only going to have what's in this box. Okay, I had to separate. I had to separate that so you guys could customize, what you want in there. So now here's the condition description. Here's the title. You can see what's going to go in there if you were to use those different opponents. Someone in the Facebook page last night, the discussion group, mentioned that they would like to add the SKU, have the SKU added as a template component. I think that seems like a fine idea, and it would be very easy for me to add. So I'll plan on adding that shortly. So if you wanted, you could also drag the SKU into here. But yeah, essentially this makes it so you can make your descriptions more dynamic and customizable to what you want them to be. And like I said, if you wanted exactly like it was before Monday, then you would just do exactly this and hit save. And then you would use this template. That's what you would do. And if you wanted it exactly like Monday in terms of this item condition, then you would make one, with these words, and you would select this for your item condition on your publish screen. So, you would select that and you would select this. That would be like it was before. I think a lot of people like the condition description, so I expect a lot of people to be selecting this use AI generated one here for this, and then I expect a lot of people are going to customize their own templates for this. But yeah, just let me know if that helps, adds any clarity, hopefully. If you guys have any additional questions, let me know. You see, I also added these view comps. Pretty self-explanatory. You probably would want to, maybe, when you actually go to this page, you'd probably want to remove some of these words to further make your search a bit less granular. As you can see, there's not actually any sold listings, but you'd probably want to remove some of these things. But at least I think the full title over is a decent start, I think. So that should help. And let's see, I think that's basically all the updates to cover. Oh, and then also I added the ability to change the quantity. Most users don't have multi-quantity listings, but if you do, you can change it here on the edit screen. I didn't think it was worth putting on this main publish screen, considering how few users actually are requesting / wanting multi-quantity options. But yeah, maybe in the future, I will add the ability, maybe in your settings page, to turn it on to come to this publish screen. If enough people ask for it to come to the publish screen, maybe I will do something like that. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so that pretty much covers the changes. Let me know in the send into the support email, or send in or post your various comments and concerns on the Facebook group page, which, you know, we have approximately, I don't know, 300 people over here discussing the application thus far. All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching this video, and hopefully that helps people understand the new changes. All right. Thank you.